Hi everyone. So today I want to do a quick stethoscope review in preparation for our cardiopulmonary block. Now, the stethoscope has three main parts to it. So there's the chest piece, which has the diaphragm and the bell, which we'll talk about in a second. There is also the headset with earpieces that you put in your ears. And then finally there's the tubing that connects the two. Now most chest pieces come with two different ends on them. One is an open-ended end which is called a bell. And we typically use a bell with light pressure on the skin, just enough to seal the bell all the way around. And you use it to listen for low-pitched sounds or really faint sounds. Classically, things like an S3, an S4, or certain diastolic murmurs. On the other end of the chest piece is oftentimes going to be this diaphragm, or the membrane that covers the end of the chest piece. And this we use with medium to firm pressure, and we use it to auscultate for really the vast majority of other cardiac and pulmonary sounds. But the main thing to know is the diaphragm tends to bring out sounds that tend to have a little bit more of a higher pitch in them. Now, some of you may have a Littmann. Actually, my service stethoscope, which is in my office right now, is a Littmann, and it has a tunable diaphragm. And I think this is really neat because it actually functions as both a bell and a diaphragm depending on how much pressure you apply. As you start with light pressure, it should start off sounding a little boomy, and low frequency sounds should predominate. And then as you apply more and more pressure, the boominess tends to kind of just go away. And then you'll get more of the high pitch frequencies come through. And that essentially is the difference between what you hear with the bell and with the diaphragm. That's it for the stethoscope itself. Now I want to talk about a couple of tips for how to use the stethoscope properly. Number one, try to keep the stethoscope and all of the parts free of any kind of foreign object, whether it is clothing or telemetry lines or tubing or anything like that. Anything that comes in contact with the stethoscope is going to introduce artificial noise that can mask or confuse what you're hearing through the headset. Number two, always listen on bare skin. As you can imagine, you can even try this yourself at home. If you put the stethoscope over clothing, it's going to introduce a lot of artifacts that can mask what you're hearing through the instrument. Finally, especially if you have a difficult time hearing through the stethoscope, pay really close attention to how it fits in your ears. Even as little as a 2/100th of an inch difference in terms of how it fits can have a pretty significant impact on the volume of the sounds that you're hearing. And so for me, I actually have to kind of pull out a little bit and push up for it to sit properly in my ears. And so just take a little bit of time to kind of just play around with the fit. You'll find that the volume and the quality of the sound is significantly different depending on how it sits in your ears. So that's pretty much it. Please send me any questions, comments, or suggestions to ajbhe@ucdavis.edu. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.